What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mika Chanel, back with another edition of Mika Chanel's Just Saying. All right, y'all, we are talking about The Real Housewives of New York City, season number 7, episode number 14. I feel like there's only like 2 more episodes left because they've already taped the reunion show. And I think that there are 16 episodes in the season, so I think we have 2 more. I know next week isn't the finale because they didn't say it was the finale when I was watching the previews. It just said, you know, coming up next week or whatever. So I'm thinking that there's 2 more episodes before the finale. Anyways, these New York chicks are so freaking high school. Like, is this what it is like to live on the Upper East Side? Like, are they indicative of like like, you know what I'm saying, the majority of the people that live on this side of New York City? Because, I mean, these chicks are so freaking childish in high school. I mean, like, even their arguments, like, okay, so we start this episode off right where episode 13 left off at with Ramona and Bethany arguing about this dang on lunch. So, I didn't vlog last week, but Bethany was cooking lunch for everyone. She's happy to have a kitchen because, you know, she's been like moving around a lot, living in hotels and stuff, so she hasn't had a kitchen. So she's like, I want to cook or whatever. So then Ramona comes down like, oh, we should all go to this restaurant, we should all go to lunch or whatever. So anyway, so that's kind of how it ended last week. So then this week it opens up with them still like bickering and arguing or whatever. And like, I'm like, Bethany, why don't you just say, I made this lunch and I would like for you all to stay and eat it. Like, just say that. Like, don't, if Ramona comes in or if anyone comes in and says, we're going to do this, when you had already planned on doing this, you, instead of saying it like, oh, I don't care, because clearly you cared. If you didn't care, it wouldn't have gone on so long. You know what I mean? You should have just said, look, I made this lunch. We all agreed that we were going to eat lunch, and I don't think it's fair for you to change plans, but if you want to go ahead and go. But like, instead she gets upset, and she kind of says that, but she says it after she's already been upset, and it's just kind of ridiculous, right? And I mean, Ramona is like a handful. She seems like she could get on somebody's nerves, but all these chicks can get on somebody's nerves. They all have these personalities, especially Bethany. Bethany can get on somebody's nerves too. So like, I don't know. It's just so like, the stuff that they get mad over. I mean, okay, we're going to go through this episode and you will see, you know what I'm saying, what I mean when I say like, they all act so childish, okay? So anyway, so finally Ramona understands that, you know what I'm saying, Bethany's feelings are hurt, that, you know what I'm saying, they decided just to up and change the plan. So they decided, her and Sonia decided to stay, have lunch with everybody else. So during this lunch, Ramona announces that she wants to write a book kind of about like a memoir about her life, about, you know what I'm saying, being raised by an alcoholic father, you know, the divorce that she's going through, her relationship issues or whatever. So she is not asking for advice on what she should put in the book. She's asking for advice on what she should name the book. So she threw out a few names and she just wanted people's opinions. But Bethany, being Bethany, she can't just give her opinion on the name of the book. She has to give her opinion like, well, why are you writing the book? What's the book going to be about? You need to like have this. You need to have that. Oh, you can use whatever name you want. Like, okay, seriously, Bethany? Like, even I was a little annoyed, you know? So anyway, so because Bethany is kind of like taking over the conversation and kind of giving Ramona the advice that she didn't ask for, this irritates Heather, which everything Bethany does kind of irritates Heather, I guess. And vice versa, it seems like. Anyways, so this irritates Heather. Heather is just like, in her interview, she's just like, look, Ramona wasn't asking for permission to write a book. She was just asking for help with, you know, what she should name the book or whatever. And she's just like, Bethany always just jumps in, takes over. So she just got a little annoyed with Bethany. So after the lunch was over, you know, Heather was out there talking with some of the ladies about how she feels like Bethany's a know-it-all. Bethany over her. Bethany goes out there. They have this like back and forth about how Bethany's a know-it-all, which she is. But I'm like, Heather, isn't that like the dang pot calling the kettle black? Because you do the exact same thing. I guess you just didn't have time to jump in before Bethany jumped in. So maybe did that make you upset? I don't know. But you do the same thing, Heather. You know what I'm saying? Like, you both are very prone to overtaking the conversation and just inserting your own opinion and to telling people exactly what they should do. I mean, you both have that kind of personality, you know what I mean? You're not all over the place like Bethany with the crying, the happy, the up, the down, all over, like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you do have that kind of personality where you want to take over and you want to fix everything, okay? So don't act like you don't, Heather. Please don't act like you don't. Y'all both have that going on. Anyway, so they get over their little argument real fast. They all go out to the beach. They're getting ready to do like some paddle boards or something. I don't know, something goofy. They're like pulling down their bathing suits, showing their asses, like whatever. But then the only thing I really wanted to talk about with that scene was, you know, with the scene with them at the beach in the ocean. Did Ramona kiss Bethany's ass? Like, it looked like because Bethany was like leaned over and Ramona was like behind her on the paddleboard. And I watched it 2 times, and I said, I think she kissed her ass. Really, Ramona? Like, what? Dude, like, these chicks were, like, probably so drunk out of their minds, like, this entire weekend. Like, what would make her do that? I hope her ass is clean, and not clean with salt water from the ocean. Ew. What would make her do that? Anyways. And then Bethany doesn't even really have too much of a booty, so I'm pretty sure she kissed the crack. Gross. Anyways. So you see, and like the next scene you see, oh my God, it was just so funny. Like I watched it 2 times, and I'm just like, what the hell is wrong with you, Ramona? Maybe that was her way of apologizing to Bethany. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, so you see Heather, she goes over to Sonia and she apologizes to Sonia about, you know, the whole alcoholic comment, and she seems to be sincere this time with her apology. She doesn't give any buts or you need to do this or anything like that. She just says, I'm sorry, and let's move on. Please, please, please let this be the end of this attack on Sonia. You know what I mean? Like, OMG. Because, like, I'm going to skip a couple of scenes, but, like, in another scene, you see Luann approach Sonia and kind of does the same thing because she wants to smooth things out with Sonia. Because her and Sonia, you know, are good friends, and, you know, she talks to Sonia about, you know, tell her she's sorry or whatever, and Sonia's so happy to hear that. So then Sonia goes into talking about the last time she was in court with her ex-husband and how she just looked at him and was like, please just let me go. Because I guess they're still, even though they've been divorced for some years now, they still have a lot of, like, financial things together. And then I think he was, like, trying to sue her. I'm like, really, Mr. JP Morgan and Chase? You gonna sue Sonia? Seriously? After you done left her with pretty much nothing and had her, you know, trying to dig herself out of this hole? Now you want to sue the poor woman? I mean, come on, give me a break. Give me a break. But anyways, somehow she pulled this rabbit out her ass and she done paid off like this dang near all of the $7 million that she owed. And I mean, some of the other housewives need to take a page out of her book, because once they go start owing taxes and start owing the, you know, different things, they all seem to go bankrupt and end up broke on the show or just off the show. So I'm like, how did Sonia pull that off? But I guess she had like properties in different countries that she was able to sell, and her businesses, I guess, whatever. And then she's also a woman that knows how to live on a budget. Clearly, she's like very frugal, which is good. I actually wish I could be more like that. But I'm more about convenience most of the time, you know what I'm saying? So that's my own cross that I need to bear. Anyways, so yeah, so let's scoot back. So they, so hopefully this whole Sonia and picking on Sonia and everything, hopefully we are done with it, because I am so sick of each season, the last couple of seasons, these ladies are trying to fix Sonia. Sonia is going to be who Sonia is. She's the life of the party. She's a fun girl. She seems to be a good mom, though we've never seen her daughter on the show. But just from hearing her talk about her daughter and then hearing some of the things that the other ladies have said, you know what I mean? She seems to be a good mother. She's taking care of her business. She's doing what she needs to do. Sometimes if she's a little delusional, we're all a little delusional sometimes. I happen to really enjoy Sonia. She's one of my favorite housewives out of all of the franchises, you know what I mean? I mean, she can do some weird things, you know what I mean? But I like her. She's so carefree. She doesn't mean any harm to anyone, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't. So please leave her alone. And I honestly don't think she's an alcoholic. I mean, they all drink. It's just Sonya, I think, with her over-the-top personality, and then she starts drinking, and I think it just makes her even more over-the-top, you know what I mean? But leave the woman alone. I mean, dang. She dang near went broke. Was about to give her, she's fighting to stay in her townhouse and everything. Leave the woman alone. So I hope this is it. Anyways, now that I went off on my tangent about, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, leaving Sonya alone, let's move on. So the ladies that evening go to this, it's like, I guess their last night at the villa that they're staying in, and then they're going to go to a different place. So it's her last night at the villa. Bethany's actually, it's her last night actually on the island with them. I'm thinking Turks and Caicos. I think that's where they are. Anyways, so they go to the Conch Shack. It's a restaurant. Apparently, Bethany's friend knows the owner. The owner is supposedly single. So Bethany goes to try to introduce the guy to Carol. But then Ramona ends up coming over and talking to the guy. So I guess this like really, really pisses Carol off. You know what I mean? But first of all, when they get to this restaurant, you can tell they're on the prowl. All of the single ones are on the prowl. Because it seems like it's half of them are single, half of them are married or whatever. All the single ladies are like on the prowl, especially Ramona and especially Carol. And those are the two that seem like they're always on the prowl anyway. They are always looking for men. It's like between Sonya and Carol, you know what I mean? Anyway, so, yeah, so I guess Carol gets upset that Ramona comes over and starts talking to the guy. And then not only does she come over and like start talking to the guy, she kind of like boxes Bethany and Carol out of the whole situation and doesn't even acknowledge him and just kind of takes over and then just hovers over this man the whole night. So then they're at the table talking like, oh my gosh, she's just like being a helicopter over the guy and no guy wants you up his ass and da 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 da. I'm like, do I detect a little bit of hate, Bethany and Carol? I think I do. Leave Ramona alone. Dang, the woman's husband just humiliated her. And like everybody in the world saw it, you know what I mean? Like she's going through a lot. Leave her alone, okay? Leave the woman alone. And Carol, I thought you had a boyfriend, little young tenderoni that you had at home. Like what? Why are you getting all upset? You know what I'm saying? But anyways, this is just crazy. So that's another little childish thing. Well, see, you don't see it being really childish until the next morning. So like the next morning, they're like all like getting up, hungover, getting their bags packed and getting ready to go to the next hotel that they're in or whatever. But you can tell there's some tension. And so Kristen's old whiny ass gonna tell Ramona like, well, you were being very rude last night and you weren't paying attention to us or whatever. Ramona's like, look, I was trying to party. Y'all need to leave me alone, okay? I was just trying to party. So Ramona goes up to the ladies' room to where Luann and Carol and those guys were. So she's just like, you know what I'm saying, do you mind if me and Sonya going on to the hotel ahead of you guys because we're all packed and we're ready to go? They were like, yeah, whatever, you know what I'm saying, go ahead or whatever. And so she was like, I'm sorry about last night, you know what I'm saying, da da da. So then you hear Carol go, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, really? Ew. Okay, so that's another childish point. You know what I'm saying? Carol is, well, you know that she's like a big kid anyway. She is. She's like a cheerleader that never grew up or something. Like she can't get her work done on time. She likes 20-year-old men. She just hasn't grown. She doesn't have a kitchen in her house. She has to look at this little bitty tiny slide-in kitchen that she has. And I mean, it's just, she hasn't grown up yet. So anyways, so they all go to the new hotel or whatever. So Sonya and Ramona are there first. So the ladies sit down and have lunch. And instead of like yelling out to Sonya and Ramona who are out on the beach to say, come on and eat lunch, they all just sit down and start eating without them. So Sonya and Ramona are like, let's not be rude. I see them up there eating lunch. Let's go up there and eat lunch. So they come and like the whole table basically ignores them when they first sit down. And then finally, like, you know what I'm saying, the ice gets broken and you really see Carol, like, how upset she was that Ramona, like, took her man. She says Ramona doesn't know girl code and all of this. And I'm like, Carol, are you really holding a grudge? I mean, did you really want to get some the night before? Like, so bad to where you're holding this grudge? I mean, my goodness, he wasn't even your man. You had just met this guy, and if he was that into you, Ramona wouldn't have been able to turn his attention away from you. Maybe he thought you were like a little kid. I don't know. But I just did not get why Carol was so freaking upset. You know what I'm saying? It was just so strange to me. And I just felt like Ramona said, jealousy. I was like, she was a little jealous of Ramona that night. Because Ramona she can come into her, I didn't know it until this season, but she can command the attention of the male species. And you know what I'm saying? And almost innocently she does. You know what I mean? So whatever, you know what I'm saying? And they were hating on this, her little shoulder move. And I do that little shoulder move. I think I got the little shoulder move from Camille when she was on the first season of the Beverly Hills Housewives. Like, I don't remember, but like I used to hear like guys at my job like, oh, I just like when she does her little shoulder like that. So I started practicing doing it, and now I do it sometimes without even knowing that I do it or whatever. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Talk about me. I don't know. Talk about me if you want to. But I just always thought that was cute. So I was like, I'm going to work that into my little, you know, I don't know, my little, you know, when I go out with my girlfriends, even though I'm married, sometimes, you know, you want to flirt a little bit. So I started working in my little shoulder or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of it. That was that with the little lunch that they were eating and the whole childish thing. Like, I still could not get over Carol. Really, I just couldn't. And it was just weird. And I had this down in my notes right here that Luann and Sonia talked, but I already talked about them because I didn't want to go back to the whole leave Sonia alone conversation. So that's why I skipped to that one. Anyway, so the last part of this episode, as if the episode wasn't even just more, it just wasn't, the episode was bizarre all around it. Oh, it started out with this stupid ass argument with Ramona and Bethany. And now we're at this dinner and we're going to end it with this dumbass argument with Heather and Dorinda. Like, okay, so they're all at the table. They seem to be having a good time. They're ordering dirty martinis. I had one tonight, which is probably why my little whoop, whoop, whoop turned up. I had me a dirty martini tonight. It was really good. Anyways, so yeah, so they're all like sitting, you know, ordering cocktails and stuff. The food comes and Ramona says something and she says, fuck. And she does, you know, covers her mouth up like, oh, no, like she wasn't supposed to say that. And so then Heather's like, well, since when can't you say the F word? Why are you covering your mouth up like that? And Ramona is like, you know, I don't want to say the word. I get it from you, like bad habits or whatever, kind of like teasing back and forth. And then Luann jumps in, and Luann is just like, it's not a word that you should say. Do you want to teach your daughter to say that word? And it's just not something you should say. And I don't want my daughter going off to Paris with her dad. Can you imagine? And then she starts dropping the F-bombs and blah, 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 this and blah, 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 that. And so Heather is like, you use the F word, you use the F word, because they were saying F-bomb. Use the F-bomb, use the F-bomb or whatever. So like, what's the problem? I don't see the big deal. And then she goes to Dorinda, and your daughter uses the F word too, because Dorinda had kind of sort of said like it was inappropriate, but she wasn't really in the conversation at that point. But then she goes, and your daughter uses the F word too, which I'm like, why did you bring her daughter into it? But then again, you guys were talking about, would you teach your daughter this language, or is it okay? And then Heather's like, look, you know, and then Dorinda gets in and she's like, no, I don't condone use of that language. My mother taught me, you know what I'm saying, to be gracious at all times. And then Heather's like, look, now I'm about to get offended because my mother didn't mind if I cursed in front of her or if I said the word. So now you guys need to shut it down because you're calling my mother a bad mother or whatever, you know what I mean? Just implying that she might be a bad mother. So then this gets this whole thing back and forth with Heather and Dorinda is toe up, okay? She is lit, okay? She is talking, she's slurring her words, she's got like saliva coming out the side of her mouth, she's constantly at this sparkle, but now like I got that sparkle, so maybe that was just a glare from her lipstick. Anyway, she was just like, you better back that shit up and back it up, like kind of similar to what she had said to her boyfriend that time. And I never said that, and don't say I did, don't say I did. She was like, she was out of her freaking mind. Like, nothing she was saying was making sense. She was like, she was so toe up on them dirty martinis. Like, I was like, Dorinda, are you okay? So then I felt like, you know, because everybody was like looking like, what's going on? And then she starts crying. And then she gets ready to walk out. So Heather follows her or whatever. But yeah, so Heather follows her out and kind of like walks with her and trying to get her to calm down or whatever. I'm like wondering if, because earlier in the episode, Dorinda and Carol were discussing their deceased husbands. And so I'm wondering if, you know, all of that was, she was, you know, still had a little bit of sadness inside of her from the conversation she had with Carol. And maybe, you know, she might have been trying to get over it. And then, like, just Heather saying that one little thing about her daughter saying the F word maybe set her off or something. I don't know. But it just came out of nowhere. Like, can she not handle her liquor? Is that it? I mean, it just came out of nowhere. Like, she was fucked up. All right, just blame it on the goose because it had her loose and going crazy, okay? So that's kind of how the episode ends. I did watch the previews for next week. And I don't know, it looks like Heather's trying to get Ramona out of the bathroom so she can talk to Dorinda. I can't remember. It was like another, what else was happening? Oh my God, I should have wrote it down. It was, oh God, it was something in the preview. Well, anyways, we'll watch it next week. So, and then I'll talk about it next week. And then I'll remember what the hell I was going to say. Anyways, you guys, that's really the episode. These ladies are hilarious because maybe it's because they're around each other a lot. I feel like out of all of the housewives, for some reason, I feel like Beverly Hills and New York ladies are together a whole lot. And maybe New York more so than any of the other ones. I feel like they're all like 7 or 8 of them, how many of them it is now. I feel like they're all together a lot. And they bicker a lot. And then they've had like, a lot of them have had like relationships even prior to being on, you know what I'm saying, the Housewives. So they're probably carrying some of that or something. I don't know. But they just bicker. They just bicker and they bicker and they bicker about like any little thing. Any little thing can set these ladies off. I mean, like each one of them will start crying in a second. And I'm just like, what is going on with you guys? I don't know. Maybe that's just the culture of the Upper East Side of New York City. I don't know. It's kind of funny to me, though, to see these grown-ass women acting like that. But, yeah, I don't know. They better get up off my girl, Sonya. So, hopefully, that is the end of it. And we won't hear anything else about Sonya having an alcohol problem or being delusional about her businesses or whatever. Let the woman do what the woman wants to do. And with that, I'm going to end this vlog because I told my husband I wouldn't be down here a long time. And, you know, we're putting our daughter to bed. So, it's Thursday night. It's our turn-up night. Anyway, so with that, I will say stay real, stay safe, and stay tuned to Mika Chanel's Just Saying. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Subscribe to my channel, like, comment on this video. And I forgot to say, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to say in the beginning, and I had this in my head the whole time that I was walking down the stairs to come into this room to do the video. I got an email from one of my viewers, and it like so made my day. I did not write her name down because I thought, because it went to my Gmail and I deleted it because I'm so quick to delete stuff out of my personal email. But I thought I was going to be able to look the email up on YouTube, but it's not there. So I don't remember her name, but oh my God, it like made my day to see that she asked me when I was going to come back with another Real Housewives of New York video. So I hope you're watching. Thank you for your email. Thank you for watching. Make sure you share this video with all your friends. Just put it on Facebook. It's okay. But yeah, oh my God, y'all don't even know. That made my day. Because I'm like, is anybody watching my videos? My husband's like, how can you just talk to yourself for 30 minutes? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, somebody out there is listening and can relate to me, right? They're out there nodding their head like, girl, yeah, you're right, yep, Or, girl, you don't know what you're talking about. Either way, somebody out there is listening. So I was excited about that. So thank you so much. Leave a comment so that I can remember your name. And then I'm going to write it down just so I know that you were my first loyal viewer of my Real Housewives of New York vlogs. All right. So anyways, with that, stay real, stay safe, and stay tuned to Mika Chanel Is Just Saying. Bye-bye.